Hey there, welcome to my channel B&B Update Us 24. Lee refuses to lose Luna. Liam news crushes Bill. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for Thursday, July 10th, reveal that Poppy Nozawa will learn Luna Nozawa's fate while Bill Spencer faces a crushing double Liam Spencer blow. At the hospital, Hope Logan will show up now that she's been summoned and push Steffi Forrester for details on what happened. Steffi will spill the whole ugly story and praise Liam for being her hero at the beach house. Of course, Bill will get news on the shooting and demand answers, too. B&B spoilers say Bill will reel over Luna being responsible for Liam's ordeal, but he'll really blame himself for getting Luna out of prison. Unfortunately, there'll be another shocker for Bill to face since he'll find out about Liam's brain tumor soon as well. Hope may explain everything once she crosses paths with Bill in the waiting area. It'll be a lot for Bill to wrap his head around since he'll learn Liam's already dying. This shooting ordeal will leave Bill worried about losing Liam even sooner than expected, so he'll be an emotional wreck. Liam will land in a coma following his surgery, but what about Luna? Things have already been harrowing in the operating room, so Lee Finnegan's, Naomi Matsuda, afraid they're going to lose Luna and refuses to let that happen. B&B spoilers indicate that someone won't come out of the OR alive, so all signs point to that being Luna. However, we also know Luna has more appearances ahead and will still be on the show in September according to a script from an upcoming episode. Will all that add up to Luna's death being faked? Will Lee somehow secretly save Luna despite how bleak the situation seems? Whatever the case, Poppy will find out about all the Luna chaos and come rushing to the hospital for some shocking updates on her daughter. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Poppy will learn Luna's fate eventually, but stay tuned to see if some deception will be involved. Patient death, Liam's new mystery, Grace obsession. The bold and the beautiful spoilers are in for Thursday, July 10th, 2025. In the next episode, fans can expect one person not to survive surgery after the shooting. Plus, a difficult realization is made about Liam Spencer. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Grace Buckingham's obsession. Let's begin with Grace Buckingham, who has been treating Liam for a brain tumor. Lately, Grace has been really pushy about Liam accepting a new treatment. While it would extend his life, it comes with many risks and the possibility of being bedridden. That's not the way Liam wants to live the rest of his life. So, for now, he hasn't given Grace an answer. Read this. Find out what happened on the last episode of B&B. The stress Grace is going through is highly suspicious, though. Then, fans watched as Grace kept trying to work on Liam instead of Sheila Carter Sharp. John Finnegan laid down the law. However, while operating on Sheila, Grace kept asking for updates about Liam. So, clearly her attention was not 100% on Sheila's surgery. Surgery death. 3 people went into surgery: Liam, Sheila, and Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada. However, it is stated that one character won't make it out of surgery alive. Fans watched as Sheila's surgery was reportedly a success. There is still a chance that Sheila could be the death, though. A script leak reported that Luna and Liam are both still around in September. So, could the death be a fake one? Liam Spencer's new mystery. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for tomorrow's episode reveal that a difficult realization will be made about Liam. I wonder if Grace's obsession about the treatment was because there's nothing actually wrong with the man. Could Grace be using Liam as some kind of test subject, and if so, why? It doesn't seem like Grace is a sinister person. Maybe those harassing phone calls and text messages are a clue. Could Grace be forced into doing this, and if so, who is the villain? Read this. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Is Deacon's son coming back? Thursday, July 10th, 2025. Fans will likely also see Hope Logan and Carter Walton arrive at the hospital. After getting updates, Hope or Carter could contact Bill Spencer. We know that at the end of the week, Bill is banned from seeing Liam by Ridge Forrester and Taylor Hayes. So, let's see what happens next. Double surgical complications. Hope's shooting discovery. The bold and the beautiful recap is finally in for Wednesday, July 9th, 2025. In today's episode, there are 3 surgeries but not everyone will survive. Meanwhile, Steffi Forrester Finnegan tells Hope Logan that Luna Nozawa shot Liam Spencer. Paramedics arrive. Steffi and John Finn Finnegan hover over Liam's body. The doctor says he has a pulse but it's strained. Steffi can't believe he's still alive. 9/11 is on the way. Over where Sheila Carter Sharp lies, a pool of blood accumulates around her shoe. Steffi helps find something to use as bandages and hands them to Finn. Sheila comments that Finn is a good man. Steffi lashes out at Sheila for Luna's actions. Sheila just nods silently, then looks over at Luna's lifeless body. Sirens can be heard. Liam is unconscious and blood is streaming from the corner of his mouth. Read this. Find out what happened on the last episode of B&B. Someone finally gets Ms. Dillon out of that closet. The teacher emerges to see multiple EMTs working on 3 bodies. Finn tries to keep the teacher calm. The teacher cries. She didn't know about Miss Sunshine. Finn assures her that it's not her fault, then rushes to help the paramedics. Meanwhile, an officer tries to get a statement from Steffi. She can't focus. It's her daughter's father on the floor. Finn leaves one patient and goes to help with Liam. The paramedic says that Liam's becoming a bit more stable. Finn says his blood pressure is extremely critical. The bullet wound was near his rib cage. The officer asks about the female. Finn looks over to see which one he's referring to. It's Luna. Finn says a bullet to the side of the chest. A gun is put in an evidence bag and Steffi is questioned some more. She's frazzled and overwhelmed but tries to answer his question. Carter Walton's promise. At Forrester Creations, Hope tells Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, that Liam might be finally ready to tell his loved ones the truth. Carter is relieved but it's bittersweet. They talk about Liam and Bill Spencer, Don Diamorne, complicated relationship. Hope thinks that Will and Wyatt Spencer, Darren Brooks, deserve to know. The COO asks if she's ever considered telling them herself. No. It has to come from Liam but the clock is ticking, she explains. Carter gets the sense that there's a treatment or something more that can be done. Hope explains the quality of life is the factor, not the years added. Carter makes a speech about being the best stepfather he can be. However, what he wants even more is for more time for Liam. Hospital chaos. At the hospital, everyone is wheeled in. Sheila talks to a nurse as Steffi looks in at Liam. Then, Sheila seems to pass out. Doctors and nurses block Steffi from seeing anything else. Finn tells Steffi that Liam needs to get into the operating room immediately. 2 officers are stalking Steffi at the hospital. They want answers. They walk her through what Ms. Dillon told them about what happened. Steffi's head is swirling. Steffi tells them that Luna is Sheila's granddaughter. Steffi adds that Sheila tried to warn them about Luna, then she lunged in front of the gun. Lee enters the hallway in surgical gear, shocked to see her daughter-in-law. Steffi rambles about Luna and a gun as Lee's jaw drops open. Luna starts crashing. Lee races over but Steffi holds Finn back. Steffi warns that if Luna survives and Liam doesn't, she won't know what she does. The look in Steffi's eyes explains all. Grace and Lee work on Luna. She needs to get into surgery now. Grace Buckingham's odd behavior. Sheila pops open her eyes to see Finn. The doctor says Grace Buckingham will be operating on Sheila. Grace insists on working on Liam, he's her patient. Finn doesn't have time to argue, tells Sheila that she's in good hands, then leaves. Grace works on Sheila in an operating room. She wants Liam's status throughout the operation. The doctor asks for Liam's chart while operating on Sheila. The patient is put under. Now Grace is sewing Sheila up. Bridget Forrester, Ashley Jones, comes in and says Deacon Sharp, Sean Canan, is on his way. Grace asks about Luna and Liam. No updates yet. Sheila's wounds are not life-threatening, but Luna and Liam's are, Grace says. Liam Spencer coding. Over with Liam, Steffi is by his hospital bed. The nurse tells Finn there's been no change. Steffi kisses Liam's forehead before he's rushed into surgery. Steffi pleads with a nurse to let her see Liam. She can't be in the OR, but there is an observation window. Steffi watches Finn operate on Liam. That must feel bizarre. Finn can see his wife. No pressure. As they operate, Steffi calls Hope. She tells her Luna shot Liam and she needs to get there right away. Suddenly, alarms blare in Liam's operating room. With Luna, Lee frantically says she can't see, there's too much blood. She can't feel the bullet yet. Bridget and Lee can see the bullet now. Bridget questions Lee, suggesting Luna might bleed out. Lee promises she won't let that happen. I refuse to let my niece end this way, Lee says. Things seem to be stabilizing. Lee comments about Luna being such a troubled girl, but there's a softness there. Bridget asks if anyone called Poppy Nozawa Romy Park. Lee says she'll handle that. She wants to be the one to tell Poppy about her daughter. Suddenly, alarms blare as Lee screams Luna's name. Luna Nozawa's death fake-out planned as Liam Spencer fights for life in coma. B&B spoilers reveal Luna Nozawa's death will be faked after emergency surgery while Liam Spencer lands in a coma following dramatic beach house shooting. 3 victims. Shocking twists ahead. B&B spoilers. Luna Nozawa's death fake-out planned as Liam Spencer fights for life in coma. The beach house turned into an absolute war zone yesterday, and I'm still trying to process what just happened. 3 people shot. 1 in a coma. Another supposedly dying on the operating table. And Sheila sharped down another toe. At this rate, the woman's going to need custom-made shoes by next season. But here's the kicker. Sources are whispering that Luna Nozawa's death is about to be faked, and if you think that sounds familiar, you're absolutely right. The shooting that changed everything. Let me break this down because it's a lot. Luna went full psycho mode trying to take out Steffi Forrester. Her obsession with Daddy Finn has reached terrifying new heights, but everything went sideways fast. During the struggle for the gun, Luna shot Liam Spencer right in the chest. But wait, it gets crazier. Even with a bullet wound, Liam somehow managed to grab that gun and fire back at Luna as she lunged at him. The man's adrenaline must have been through the roof. Both of them collapsed in pools of blood just as Finn arrived on scene. Can you imagine walking into that nightmare? Oh, and Sheila? She tried to intervene and got herself shot in the foot. Because of course she did. The woman can't help but insert herself into every single drama, can she? Emergency surgery drama, but someone's not making it out alive. All 3 victims were rushed to the hospital where Lee Finnegan, Grace Buckingham, and Bridget Forrester prepped for emergency surgeries. The tension in that OR must have been insane. Spoilers are teasing that one person doesn't survive surgery, and everything's pointing to Luna being the unlucky one. But hold up. Remember when Lee faked Finn's death? When she kept him hidden away, nursing him back to health while the whole world thought he was gone? Yeah, I'm getting major déjà vu vibes here. And I'm not the only one. Fans are buzzing with theories that Lee's about to pull the exact same stunt with her niece. Carter makes a bold promise. While Liam's fighting for his life, Carter Walton is already making moves that have me side-eyeing him hard. He's vowing to Hope Logan that he'll step up as a father figure for little Beth Spencer. I'll be the best stepdad possible, he apparently promised. Excuse me? The man's not even cold yet. Liam's literally in surgery and Carter's already planning to play daddy? The audacity! Though I have to admit, at least someone's thinking about that poor little girl who's about to get devastating news about her father. Hope's world is about to shatter. Speaking of Hope, she's about to get the phone call that will change everything. Can you imagine? One minute you're going about your day, the next you're racing to the hospital because your ex-husband, the father of your child, is clinging to life after being shot? And here's where it gets really interesting. Sources say Liam will survive his surgery but end up in a coma. A coma. We've been down this road before with Liam, haven't we? The man has more lives than a cat at this point. But still, seeing him hooked up to machines, fighting for his life, it's going to be brutal for Hope. The Luna death fake-out, history repeating itself? Now, about Luna's supposed demise. Leaked scripts for September 2025 show both Luna and Liam are still around. So unless B&B is planning some serious flashback episodes, Luna's death is definitely getting faked. Lee Finnegan has done this before. She's literally got experience in the fake a family member's death and nurse them back to health in secret department. And with Luna being her niece and Finn's daughter, you bet she's going to pull out all the stops to protect her, criminal or not. But here's my question. Where is she going to hide Luna this time? The Finnegan house? Some secret medical facility? A cabin in the woods? The possibilities are endless. What this means for everyone. The ripple effects from this shooting are going to be massive. Steffi might actually feel guilty that Liam got shot protecting her from Luna. Finn's going to be torn between his psycho daughter and his traumatized wife. Hope will be dealing with Liam in a coma while Carter's trying to play house. Lee will be orchestrating yet another death cover-up. Sheila's down to 8 toes now. And don't even get me started on what happens when Luna inevitably returns from the dead. Because we all know that's coming, right? Fan theories are running wild. Social media is absolutely losing it over this storyline. Some fans are speculating that Luna might have a twin sister named Ronna. Leaked scripts mention this character, which would add a whole other layer of crazy to this already insane situation. Others think Lee might actually let everyone believe Luna's dead this time as punishment for her crimes. After all, if the world thinks you're dead, you can't exactly go around trying to murder your stepmother, can you? The million-dollar questions. So many questions are swirling right now. How long will Liam be in this coma? Will Hope realize she still has feelings for him while he's fighting for his life? Is Carter seriously going to try to replace Liam as Beth's father figure? Where will Lee hide Luna during her fake death? Will Finn be in on the secret this time? How will Steffi react when she finds out Luna's actually alive? One thing's for certain, the next few weeks are going to be an absolute rollercoaster. With Liam unconscious, Luna dead, and Carter making his moves on Hope, the drama is just getting started. Mark my words, by the time September rolls around and Luna makes her grand return, Los Angeles won't know what hit it. And honestly, I can't wait to see how this all plays out. The Bold and the Beautiful, where betrayals lurk behind designer suits and whispered secrets echo louder than slaps, one man, long dismissed, underestimated, and sometimes even mocked, rose with a quiet, resolute strength that reminded everyone watching that not all heroes wear capes. Sometimes, they wear broken hearts and clarity of conscience. Liam Spencer, the man often accused of waffling between two great loves, of being too gentle in a world of ruthless egos and manipulative titans, finally showed us that strength doesn't always come with a grand gesture. It can come in the stillness of someone choosing truth over denial, principle over comfort, and integrity over the temptation to keep the peace. For years, fans have seen Liam drift between Hope and Steffi, not out of malice, but out of genuine love for two complex, powerful women who have shaped his entire adult life. But this time, the triangle cracked, and not because Liam faltered, but because he stood firm. When Hope began to emotionally gravitate toward Thomas, the very man whose obsessive behavior once tore their lives apart, Liam didn't rage or seek revenge. He grieved, processed, and ultimately decided he could no longer pretend everything was okay. He remembered the past, not to weaponize it, but to protect himself and their daughter from the toxic cycle of manipulation and betrayal that Thomas once embodied. He didn't just walk away from Hope, he walked toward his own self-respect, setting a boundary so rarely seen in soaps, where forgiveness often comes cheap and history is whitewashed in the name of ratings and convenience. Fans noticed. They saw the shift. The man who once second-guessed himself now spoke with a calm certainty, not trying to win or prove anything, but simply living in alignment with what he knew to be true. That isn't weakness. That is evolution. And it's why Liam is finally getting the thumbs up, standing ovation, and redemption he so long deserved. Because let's be clear, Liam's decision wasn't just about Thomas. It was about Hope, about the gut-punch realization that the woman he trusted most was now reframing Thomas's dark past as growth, and was asking Liam to do the same under the guise of forgiveness. But real forgiveness, the kind that creates space for healing, is not the same as turning a blind eye to deeply rooted patterns. And Liam knew that. His unwillingness to compromise his daughter's emotional safety, or to remain in a relationship that made him feel like the enemy for simply remembering the truth, was not an act of cowardice, it was one of courage. Liam has been many things over the years, devoted, flawed, impulsive, empathetic. But in this moment, he became something more, a man who knew the cost of silence and chose to speak up anyway. He refused to gaslight himself just to maintain the illusion of a perfect family. He acknowledged the complexity of Thomas's apparent redemption but refused to entrust his family's future to a man whose love, historically, had always come at the price of control. Liam's fans, who have watched him stumble, recover, fall again, and still choose love, understood this moment as a culmination of all his past lessons finally being learned. For once, he didn't just react, he responded. And that difference made all the difference. In choosing to walk away from a woman he still deeply loves, Liam reminded audiences that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is leave. And what's more, he did it with grace. He didn't shame Hope. He didn't publicly vilify Thomas. He didn't go scorched earth on the Forresters or manipulate Douglas to score sympathy points. He simply said, "I can't do this," and meant it. That's a rare kind of integrity in a soap opera universe where drama is often driven by revenge and emotional manipulation. Liam didn't fall into that trap. He could have tried to make Hope jealous, to win her back with grand speeches or impulsive kisses. But he didn't. Instead, he centered his daughter, his peace, and his truth. And that quiet strength resonated with viewers in a profound way. Social media lit up with support for Liam, not because he was flashy, but because he was finally clear. His heartbreak was raw, but his decision was grounded. And in doing so, he showed fans, many of whom have lived through similar emotional betrayals, that it's okay to walk away when your boundaries are crossed, even if it hurts. Especially if it hurts. Liam became a mirror for viewers who have watched loved ones slip back into toxic patterns and felt powerless to stop them. He became the voice of reason in a storyline full of romantic delusion. And fans applauded not just the writing, but the emotional nuance of his performance, his tired eyes, his exhausted tone, his soft-spoken strength that spoke louder than any slap or scream ever could. There's something tragically beautiful about watching a character finally become who they were always meant to be. For Liam, this evolution wasn't about winning Hope back, or proving he was the better man. It was about accepting that love without mutual truth isn't really love at all. And while Thomas may have convinced the world he's changed, Liam didn't let that narrative override his lived experience. He saw through the new wardrobe, the composed demeanor, the reformed language. Because Liam isn't judging Thomas off one bad day, he's judging him off years of behavior that included psychological manipulation, obsession, and coercion. And he's allowed to. Just because Thomas paints a different picture now doesn't mean Liam has to forget what it took to rebuild Hope after he tore her down. And when Liam saw Hope not only tolerating Thomas but emotionally opening to him, romantically, even physically, it shattered something inside him. Not out of jealousy, but out of betrayal. The betrayal of shared values. The betrayal of the idea that they were on the same team, raising their daughter with aligned moral compasses. And when that illusion broke, so did Liam's silence. But again, he didn't lash out. He grieved. He mourned what could have been. And then he walked away. That is maturity. That is healing. That is heroic in a genre that so often glamorizes chaos over clarity. Liam's fans are embracing this moment as a turning point not just in the story, but in the way he is perceived as a character. The once villainized waffler is now the man with a backbone. The guy who couldn't choose is now the guy who chose himself. And that arc, subtle, emotional, hard-earned, is what makes soap storytelling so powerful when done right. It's not about explosions or slaps or weddings interrupted by mistresses, though those are fun. It's about the slow transformation of a man who finally knows what he wants and isn't afraid to say no to what he doesn't. Liam's decision reverberated beyond the scene. It reset the emotional tone of the show. It made viewers question their own limits, their own loyalties. It asked them to consider whether they've been staying in emotional arrangements that no longer serve them, just to avoid discomfort. And that's the power of good television, not just to entertain, but to provoke reflection. Liam Spencer, in this moment, is no longer the boy caught between two women. He is the man who stood alone in a storm and didn't flinch. And in doing so, he became a different kind of leading man, not the one with the flashiest moves, but the one with the deepest truth. So no, Liam doesn't wear a cape. He doesn't burst through doors or punch villains or orchestrate dramatic takedowns. His heroism isn't loud. It's quiet. It's moral. It's rooted in empathy and truth. He's the kind of hero who says the hard thing, makes the painful call, and then sits with the consequences. And in a genre where fast love and fast forgiveness often dominate, Liam's slow, deliberate courage was a breath of fresh air. For the first time in a long time, The Bold and the Beautiful gave us a character who didn't bend under pressure but broke free. And fans saw him, not just as the man who finally walked away from hope, but as the man who walked into his own worth. And for that, he didn't just earn applause. He earned respect. And perhaps, at long last, redemption.